So this is going to be a really difficult video to make, and I honestly don't even know where to start. And it's just been it's just been a really bizarre week, and we've lost someone, and it's so I can't believe it, and I don't have the words for it, and I don't even know what to feel. And I feel like things are just like, it's just one thing after another thing after another thing that's just happening in life in general, and I don't even know what to say. But we lost someone. We lost someone very special to me, and it's heartbreaking because I really thought we had more time. I really, really did. I mean, I was always a little bit scared, but I really didn't think, like, I feel like things just don't feel real anymore. Like, I can't even believe the day that I'm existing in, because it's just like, what? I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And I mean, clearly there's like a lot that I need to process, but we lost Shannen Doherty this past week, and it's just crazy to me. It is just absolutely crazy to me. And I've been a Charmed fan since forever, and you know, those of you who know me, you know how much I love Charmed. I think it's an incredible show, and it's honestly one of the first shows that I ever watched. And you know, I don't want to get too caught up on how we lost Shannen Doherty, who played Prue Halliwell, for those of you that don't know, in Charmed. I don't want to get caught up in who we lost so much as I want to celebrate what she gave us, or at the very least what she gave me. And I it's so crazy to me, because Prue Halliwell is how Prue Halliwell was the reason that I first experienced grief, which just sounds insane, but it was just my experience, and I don't know if there's other people out there that can relate to this. I was young. I was young when I watched Charmed, and you know, at that age you don't come across losing someone, especially not losing somebody who was our big sister. I mean, she was a big sister to me. Like, watching Charmed, I wanted nothing more than for Prue Halliwell to be my big sister. And you know, this was during a time when the internet was up and coming, and the first time I actually watched Charmed was on YouTube. And that was a time when you could have full episodes of shows and movies on YouTube for free, and there weren't any copyright infringements because YouTube just hadn't gotten to that point. And I remember coming across Charmed, and I was just like, wait, what is this show? Like, I had memories of watching it when I was really little. I remember like it just being on TV. And I was like, Charmed, there's that show Charmed with these witches, and there's like magic or something, I didn't know, and I just happened to come across Charmed on YouTube, or I seeked it out, I don't even remember. And I just remember being just just completely intrigued by the show, and just so fascinated by Shannen, who played Prue, and I just thought Prue was the coolest character I had ever seen on screen, which is like true to this day. And it's just incredible what Shannen brought to that role, and what Shannen brought to so many people's lives, because I know, and I've literally met people I have met people who love what Shannen Doherty, like the impact that Shannen Doherty has had on their lives. And I can relate to them because she's totally had one on mine. Like, I didn't grow up with a lot of siblings around me, and watching Charmed made me feel like I did. Watching Charmed made me feel like I had three sisters, three, like, older sisters who would listen to me if I was going through something, or who would just have this space where there wasn't judgment, and they would just hear me out and give me good advice. And even if we would ever get into an argument or have disagreements, we would still love each other and care for each other. And I know I sound completely insane right now, but this is just the experience that I had with Charmed. Something about that show just made me feel like I was surrounded by these sisters. It was like they were on screen, but they were very much affecting my day to day. And it just was this comfort that I could go to, where it's like, oh, I had a bad day today, no worries. I'm just going to see what my big sisters are up to. And Shannen Doherty made a big part of that come true. She was my big sister. Whether it was her playing Prue Halliwell or just her in general, because I followed her career after Charmed. And this is the crazy part when I say this stuff about grief and it being my first experience with grief. Shows at that time were just starting to be, TV shows being on DVD was like, it was a new thing. And to be able to collect your entire, like, TV show on DVD was a very new thing. And here I am, like, watching this show on YouTube, just thinking, oh, okay, this is a show about three witches, and, stuff gets really intense, but by the end of the episode, everything goes back to normal. And the characters that we love continue to be there. And then season 3 ended. And I actually fully remember there was a comment in the first episode of season 1 of Charmed on YouTube back in the day. Those videos are no longer up. And if full episodes are on there, they're not the same full episodes that I watched when I first got introduced to the show. And I fully remember a comment being, oh, it's so sad that Prue dies at the end of season 4. And I remember the comment saying that. And clearly the comment was misinformed, but I didn't know who Prue was at the time. I just remember that comment. And when I was watching the show, I was like, wait a second. These are witches, so even if Prue dies, they'll figure it out. And I have until season 4, so it's okay. But it wasn't something that was like, it wasn't something that I was like consciously thinking of. And then I remember season 3 ending, and I was like, oh my god, this is a crazy finale. And then season 4, by that time, I was so heavily invested in the show that I had looked into what season 4 posters of the show looked like. And I was like, oh, something seems off about the poster of season 4. And then I watched season 4, and I was wrecked. I was a complete mess. Because Prue wasn't there. And I couldn't understand why she wasn't there. And I could feel Piper's grief, because I was in that same boat where I'm just like, wait, magic has brought people on this show back before, and it can't. Why can't it? Where is Prue? But also, where is Shannen? Like, what's going on? Because I didn't know about the behind-the-scenes drama. And at that point, I'm just thinking, okay, they're going to bring her back at some point. At some point, we're going to see Prue in the beginning of the episode, and it's just going to get resolved. And then they had the funeral, and I just started bawling because I didn't know what was going on. And for those of you who know, you know that season 3 ends, and then season 4 just begins not continuing where season 3 left off. A lot of time has passed between season 3 and season 4. So at this point, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I really don't get it. Where is Prue? And then they just introduce a new Charmed one, and then I'm just like, wait, what is going on? Like, there's still 5 seasons left of this show, and just, I don't get it. And then I continued watching, and Prue is just not coming back. And I'm just like, something is just wrong. Something is wrong. And that funeral was my first experience with grief. And it was like I had lost my big sister, somebody who I was so used to seeing, and I didn't, Charmed was one of the first TV shows that I ever watched, so it wasn't like I was just binging one episode after the other. I would watch an episode and I would take a break and I would watch an episode, so it was almost like watching it when it was airing live, per week. I mean, I would couple up episodes, but binging was a new experience to me. Binging wasn't even a term at that point. So it was just something that you figured out rather than something that Netflix recommends you to do. So I went through 3 seasons and like a good portion of, my young life where you're like, or I should say my younger years, sorry, I'm just at a loss for words, where you're getting to know these characters. And then to just not have those characters, now people are like, oh, people have died in the Avengers, or people are dying in Game of Thrones, or Breaking Bad, whatever. I don't care, because it's something that I feel like now we take for granted, but like back then it was, you didn't have spoilers. You did have spoilers, but like things weren't as easily found on the internet as they are now. And things weren't so easily available as well. And so a lot of the connections that you would have then were like, they just held more value because things were happening at a slow pace, and you would be able to experience those things develop at a slower pace without feeling like you were missing out. Like, I feel like things now are so fast paced, and I feel like I'm all over the place with this video. But to slowly build this routine of being like, hey, I have these 3 sisters that I can go to if I'm like experiencing problems, and then to just have one of them not be there, I fully felt that grief of being like, where is Prue? Where is Shannen? What the heck is going on? And I remember just being like, just going through that like denial, anger, bargaining, and acceptance stage, which didn't actually really happen until I finished Charmed. And I don't think it still happened, and now there's another layer to it. And I remember seeing that Shannen was, like, on IMDb, that it said Shannen was on for 67 episodes for Charmed. And there's 22 episodes per season, so season 1 there's 22, season 2 22, season 3 22. 67 though, because 22 times 3 would be 66, but there's an additional episode that Shannen is in. And I just thought, oh, okay, they like probably got her back for like the series finale, or like the 100th episode, or something in the middle. I don't know. And then it turns out, by the time when I finished the show, I'm like, where the hell is Shannen? Why is she not back? What is going on? And then I found out it was the unaired pilot that made her 67th episode. And I was just like, oh my god, like, we never see Prue. And, like, after season 3, you don't see Prue, you don't see pictures of her, she's just gone. And no matter how many times they try to bring her back, she's not there. And for crying out loud, like, she's their sister and they're witches and they can do this, but Destiny just doesn't allow it. Like, on the show, it would be too hard for them to move on if they were able to see Prue. And it's insane because it's such an art imitates life kind of thing that's happening. Like, I lost my big sister in Charmed, and now I'm losing her in real life. And I just don't I feel like this thing that I thought I was over is weirdly coming full circle, and it's just something that I'm going to have to process again. And my heart goes out to Shannen's family and to all the other people who loved her. Like, she taught me so many things. I mean, she taught me to be strong. She taught me to, like, stand up for what I believe in. She taught me to be fearless. She taught me to just take care of people. She also just taught me to, like, take risks. Whether it was Prue, whether it was Shannen. And she just taught me that you can be tough, but you can still love. And now she's not there anymore, and I feel like I'm a kid again. And I'm just going through that same thing, and it's such a crazy thing to go through, and I don't know who to talk to about this. And I know I'm in denial. I fully know I'm in denial right now, and I'm just trying to talk about it and trying to process this, because if I don't process it, it's just going to turn into dis-ease in my body. And so I have to let this energy out and just get out of the denial stage. But Shannen is gone, and I kept hoping. I would always after Charmed, I was like, she's going to come back. We're gonna see her in another show, and she's just gonna have a full-time gig, and she'll be on my screen again, just playing another character that I completely respect and admire. And it just never happened. I would follow her career, and I've seen her in, like, the 90210 reboot, and I've seen her in the Heathers TV show. But I just kept hoping, like, she'll get another thing like Charmed. She still has time. Everything's gonna be fine. And now she's not there. This big sister that I would support from afar is not there. And I just don't know. I just don't know. And she's gone. And I feel like we take so much for granted. And she's just gone, and it was just so sudden, and she's just not there anymore. She's just not there. I've lost a big sister twice now, and in just the weirdest way. Like, it's just been so abrupt. And I feel like this speaks so much to the behind the scenes issues, the show, how the producers handled it, where even witches could never see their sister again. And it's just such, and this is just how I see the world, and this is just how I analyze things, and it's insane to me that art imitated life in the craziest way, because we're not going to get to see Shannen. I'm not going to get to see Shannen. She's not going to have another podcast, and she's not going to make a kick-butt appearance on some show or movie again. And I won't be able to see her. And this time this is just so exhausting. It's honestly just so exhausting, and I'm just not going to worry. I'm not going to worry too much about, I can't worry too much. I can't worry too much about her not being here, because at least she doesn't have to fight cancer anymore. At least she just does not have to keep fighting all the time. And I'm just sorry that there just wasn't enough time But man, she left an incredible legacy. I mean, she gave us Brenda Walsh. She gave us Shannen Doherty. She gave us Brenda Walsh again. I haven't even seen Little House of the Prairie yet, but I know she's in it, and I know a lot of people know her from that. And somebody commented that there's this show called Our House. And I remember looking at it like way back when. I just haven't been able to find the episodes, but I'd love to watch Our House. And she was in Heathers, and I love Heathers. But she just had incredible work. She was in Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She left a kick butt legacy. She's going to be remembered for a long time, and I know there's people out there who know what kind of impact she had. And it's just, I can't even say that Shannon's gone, because I can't look at the negative in this, because it's just tiring. She's going to be playing in my house at pretty much all times of the day. She's not going anywhere. I was just earlier today watching that 70s episode from Charmed. And it was just so comforting. It was just so comforting to see Shannon and to see Prue on my screen. It's a testament to artists like Shannon, who take on projects and champion these projects and put in their heart and soul. I mean, she was doing behind the scenes work on Charmed because she wanted it to be incredible. And you can really see that shine through. It could be any episode of Charmed, of the first 3 seasons and even beyond, where you could just watch it and you feel that passion. And I felt that today with Shannon, and I'm sure I'm going to feel that, just having the show on loop, because I love that show. But I lost my big sister. We all lost a big sister. But we can't focus on the negatives, because she left us with a lot to respect and a lot to admire. I don't even... And it's just been... You know what? I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful that I got to experience Shannen Doherty's work. I'm incredibly grateful that I got to experience all that she brought in art and in her performances and in something that she was passionate about. I'm so lucky to have had that experience and to have come across a show like this that makes you care so much about not only the characters on screen, but the people who bring them to life. And Shannon made it happen. We should celebrate how she helped us grow, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I appreciate all that she's taught me. And I'm just gonna focus on the positives. Because the more I watch that show, the more I'm gonna learn. So I appreciate the things that she's going to teach me. And we might feel that she's not with us, but the legacy she's left behind reminds us that she is very much here. Or at the very least, it reminds me that she's here. And she's here. She is here. I'm just so grateful. I'm incredibly grateful. And we're going to leave it at that. We're going to end this on a positive note, and we're going to leave it at that. To all the Charmed fans out there, blessed be, and we're gonna leave it on a positive note. Just blessed be.